Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're getting right into the meat of what we're about with this podcast. We're taking a look at the February 19th, 2020 episode of Wednesday Night Dynamite, live from Atlanta, Georgia. Just really open discussion here. Overall thoughts on the episode. What did you think?
I thought it was a really good show leading up to Revolution.
Yeah, we got Revolution 2 weeks away.
I think we talked, was it a week ago or something, and we're just like, none of these storylines are like building up to the thing, and I think that this episode did a better job of doing that.
Yeah, just touching on that point of we're still not really sure what matches are going to be on this card. We know Cody MJF. We know Jericho Moxley. They were hinting at Dustin Jake, but that hasn't been for sure said yet. Darby Sammy seems like a match, but again, they haven't said that that's going to be a match at Revolution. And
maybe Dark Order and SU.
Yeah, they seem to have something going, but again, not really said. And then we'll talk about it from this episode was the Young Bucks are going to be facing Omega and Page. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think this is the best episode they've had so far. In the 3 months, October, November, December, January, 4 months that we've been watching every week, this has been their best episode. Everything rolled really smooth. Technically, they've been having some camera, like the production team cutting into the wrong spots, and we mentioned it in the pilot episode, how the commercial breaks weren't really doing their job, but I think everything about this episode is really good.
Or even cutting into the commercials, like sometimes JR is still going and then he gets cut off.
Yeah, if you had to be really hard on the episode, they were cutting back in to the show a little too early, and the crowd was counted down with the production team.
Yeah.
We're going live in 5, 4, and the crowd just loves to count down, right? So that was maybe a little bit of a mistake there, but all in all, great show. Let's just get right into it. Let's talk about the first segment. What do you got? You did all the notes for this episode.
So the first segment was the Tag Team Battle Royal, which had a bunch of the tag teams in it, and what did they get out of this?
The winner was going to face Omega and Page for the tag team championships at Revolution. So,
right.
So a lot on the line on this battle royal. This is the first time we've seen a tag team battle royal in AEW. I think they handled it properly. Tag team battle royals never really work. From the ones that I've seen, they changed the rules a little bit where both teammates have to be eliminated. That's something that the other promotion has never done. One person gets eliminated, and then the ref's got to do the spot where they're trying to get the other partner out of the ring. I just feel like it breaks up the flow.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. So
yeah.
AEW
that was a good
handled
change.
It right.
I thought the starting from the outside of the ring and sliding in was a bit weird.
That is weird. Yeah, I didn't understand what was going on there, but
and then I didn't even notice for the longest time that the Inner Circle wasn't even they didn't even go in.
The Proud and Powerful, they didn't get into the match for about half the match there. You got to have that. Every Royal Rumble or Battle Royal always has the guy who slips out under the rope and chills out for a while. I think that's just a character arc that you have to have when there's a Battle Royal. So It made sense that the heel faction of the Inner Circle were the ones that pulled that off. Who else did we see?
The other weird one was the T-Hawk. I want to say that's what they named him.
T-Hawk. I don't think I heard that.
Okay, yeah, I want to say he was an Asian.
Oh, was he
wrestler?
with Shima? Yeah, those are the OWE guys.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't hear that name come up.
I want to say that's the first time we've seen him, but
No, he was part of that 6-man tag at Double or Nothing against SCU.
okay.
He was one of the 3 from OWE. So yeah, I didn't even notice they were in that match. So that's cool that you caught that.
I think the first major sort of spot that I noted was the Dark Order came in to do the interrupt. And I don't know what you thought about it, but I thought it was a really good way to eliminate SCU.
Yeah.
It still keeps them strong because they're one of the top teams, but you know they it was decided they were not going to win, so
Yeah, it's a good way to keep them looking strong and also branch off into a new storyline now that they're kind of out of the title picture for now. Yeah, that was a really good spot.
the only thing I didn't like about it is I felt like they should have kept the Dark Order in a little bit longer. So SCU gets eliminated, and then they got their backs turned, and then I think it was Young Bucks that super kicked them out or something like that.
Right.
I thought they should have kept him in there a little bit longer.
And when we say Dark Order was part of this, it wasn't even Evil Uno and the other guy that were in it, right? It was the 2 lackeys that were representing Dark Order officially in the match.
Yeah. So Uno and Grayson were outside.
They were with the philanthropist looking guy there.
Yeah.
No, televangelist looking guy.
Yeah.
Is that the word? So yeah,
so I thought it was really creative. I don't know that I've seen a battle royal where someone's kind of on the outside wreaking havoc that way.
Yeah, good spot. Who else did we see? We had the Hype 2. We had the Best Friends. Orange Cassidy's on the outside. There was a good spot with him saving Trent from elimination. A little Kofi-ish, but it worked.
Yeah. Butcher and the Blade was out there with my absolute favorite, the Bunny.
The Bunny.
And she had a spot. She had the dick kick on Cassidy.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I must have been looking.
So after the whole Kofi save, then they're outside on the apron again.
Right.
So
they were chopping each other.
Orange Cassidy was, out there to do the save, and then he felt he didn't need it, so he put his hands in his pocket, and then Bunny came over with the dick kick, and
wow, I missed it. Oh, that's good. That's a good spot. Let's just talk about the Bunny, the Butcher, and the Blade. That kind of new tag team. They came in at the start of the year as a new tag team. What are your thoughts on them right now? I'm liking what they're doing. I don't care for their names. It's hard to say. The Best Friends, the Hype 2, the Young Bucks. Now you have the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, and So, but I
think when they came out, the looks of them are awesome. I hope they use them more. I agree with what you're saying. Is they need like a name for the group.
Yeah. I'm fine with the Butcher. I'm fine with the Blade, but when they're referring to them as a group, they need something better than spouting off the 3 Bs. Maybe they'll call them the B team. I don't know.
I hope they don't.
I hope they don't either.
I think they could do a lot with them, and they should do a lot with them. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad that they used Allie. Is that her name?
Allie, yeah.
I'm glad that.
Yeah, that was a big character change for her, eh?
Well, because what she had, I don't even know that she had a Dynamite match. She was in the pay-per-view, and then we never really saw her again.
So she had a couple she had at least one match on Dynamite pre-Full Gear, and I know I've seen her on Dark. But yeah, I think after Full Gear, she was kind of, non-existent for a while. And, prior to that, she was kind of this bubblegum, type of white meat babyface. And, it just wasn't working. The crowd wasn't getting behind her, really, so...
But I looked a little bit into Allie for obvious reasons. And she's done this sort of dress-up, cosplay, whether it's for wrestling. I think she does some short story video creation herself. Okay. So I don't think this is like out of her realm. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's probably why it's getting over with people, is
maybe some of the
good at playing the part,
right? And some of the hardcore fans know this probably, right? And they're like, yeah, that's an interesting point. Who else do we have? We had the Young Bucks, obviously. We talked about the spot with SCU and the Dark Order.
Sammy was also outside.
Sammy was out there cheerleading for Ortiz and Santana. Let's get into the finish of the match. We have Nick Jackson is actually eliminated, I felt, fairly early in the match. It was about the midpoint, but I mean, for a team that's, running the business almost, it was interesting to see him go out and just really putting on display this rule change where, Nick Jackson was eliminated, but the Young Bucks aren't. Right. Matt's still in there.
I like that it was 4 left, but Santana and Ortiz were still in it. So it's like they're teasing like they're the ones that are going to, win it.
Yeah. And the commentators do a good job.
I remember who the 4th was. Was it Ray Phoenix? Was he?
Yeah, it might have been
the 4th.
But just taking a look back at the video here. It was the Butcher.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Butcher. That was the last one. But the commentators, they did a really good job of like putting that hype behind Proud and Powerful. They're the tag team. They're still in there. They're working together, and they're against these two singles. I mean, the single halves of the tag teams. So it created a good story there where you're thinking, you're like, oh yeah, the Proud and Powerful, they're going to go on and win this. Mm-hmm. And then we go into, I'm just going to call it the spot. The spot, the death of Sammy Guevara. Let's talk about how this all transpired.
So he's obviously interrupting in the match and jumps to the top rope, and nobody else is really in the middle of the ring, and then it was like the super kick of death.
Yeah.
I don't know that maybe it's just the angle. So if you saw it on a different angle, you'd probably say, okay, there's no way Sammy could have gotten hurt. But like, he jumped right into the leg. There was no way to graze it or anything. Yeah. I'm surprised he popped up.
Right. So he rolled out of the ring. Yeah, he did. He did a good job.
We're gonna put a clip on.
Yeah, we're gonna cut to it right away. I just wanted to talk about quickly how Santana Ortiz, they kind of have their mini match with Nick Jackson leading up to this spot, and they're getting the better of them. And then you have this spot where Santana almost knocks out Ortiz. They do the stop. Matt Jackson gets the super kick, eliminates Ortiz, and then there you see Sammy jump up onto the top rope and basically decapitate himself on Matt Jackson's leg. But let's take a look at the clip here. We got it queued up. So here, Matt Jackson's trying his best to Scave off the attack of the Proud and Powerful. Throws Ortiz out. Oh, just about.
Yeah, they did a good job teasing all
super
that.
Kit. Here we go. And he's dead.
I like I like how he totally folds up. And
the way his legs fold underneath him, and he had his sunglasses on. I didn't even realize the sunglasses just yard sail off, and then Matt goes and throws out Santana right after. It was a good spot, and
I never liked the beginning of the match because there's just too much going on and you don't know what to focus on.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the camera will focus on something and then you'll miss something.
Right.
So it's just too many things at the beginning. I get why they're doing it, but
and we saw a good example of that in the casino battle royal at Double or Nothing. I think you might have missed it. You were barbecuing at that time, but there's a spot where MJF is doing MJF things to the wrestler with no legs there, and he's shouting at him, and then he backs up into Billy Gunn. So the camera cuts to their confrontation. Meanwhile, we're missing Jimmy Havoc staple a cigarette to Joey Janela's forehead, and it's just like, why weren't we focusing on that? But that was rookie production mistakes, and they've gotten a lot better. I felt this.
I wonder if they went to where you have multi views.
Oh, that might be something interesting.
Your Call of Duty.
Oh,
where you see multiple views of different.
Yeah. Well,
then you won't miss some of those.
Yeah.
Those spots.
There's an idea for the AEW brass. Let's get some multi-camera action. You're already doing the picture-in-picture. That could actually work. It's a pretty good idea. At least for these bigger man battle royals and stuff like that. It'd be a really good idea.
Did you have a rating for this match?
As battle royales go, I think it was one of the best battle royals I had ever seen.
I don't know what our rating scale is.
Let's talk about that.
Out of 5.
Are we doing the 5 stars, the Meltzer 5 stars, or I think 5 is the best way to do it. If I had to rate it, like I said, it's one of the better battle royales that I've seen. But again, it is a battle royale. 3.5.
Yeah, I was undecided. Really, I thought I gave it a 3 initially. I think you could maybe say the ending was a 4 or 3.5 to 4.
Yeah,
it was it was an average match, but it's one of those matches that it's hard to watch.
And that's battle royals are like that. So yeah. You're almost at a handicap, having a battle royale match. You're not going to be getting 5 stars out of a battle royale match, So I think 3.5. Yeah. That's perfect. Moving on to the next segment, we have Shanna versus Statlander. These are 2 really up and coming stars on the AEW roster. I think 2 of the better professional wrestlers that AEW's women's division have. Statlander's only been in the business for 3 years. She's only been wrestling for 3 years. And,
I'm totally a fan. If my predictions work with who I think is going to go to the top, I think she'll be one. Because she has the total package. She has that unique gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
She does the gimmick well. She's a big, strong woman, and she's not bad on the eyes, and she can wrestle.
She can wrestle. She's a great wrestler. For someone who's only been doing it for 3 years, it's blowing my mind how progressed she is.
We should also mention that Britt Baker was on comms for this one.
Yeah.
Although I could see you forgetting because it was almost non-existent.
Yeah, they tried throwing to her a couple times, and she said her little lines and stuff like that. But in the last time we talked, we were talking about how hot Britt Baker is, with the crowd and the heat that she's developed. But it almost took a step back on this episode because of her lack of contribution on the commentary.
There was full minutes where she was not saying anything, and if you take that into comparison to like a Jericho,
Jericho's awesome on
Jericho
commentary.
does most of the commentary on the match, so
something she needs to work on. But
Bald J-Rock was reffing. At one point I'm just like, Knox, he looks like somebody I should know, and then I figured it out. I'm like, he looks like Jonathan Torrens, but bald.
Right.
So, Bald J-Rock. That's now his.
All right, so
sorry,
when,
bud,
when we refer to Knox, it's Bald J-Rock. Let's talk about Shanna for a second. Portuguese international wrestler. Apparently she's been doing it for a long time, but I've seen a few matches of hers on Dark, and I'm really impressed with her too.
Oh yeah, I think she's a really good wrestler. She has good chemistry in every match with the person that she's wrestling with. So, she followed along with Statlander's gimmick, and, there's some back and forth there, and I've seen her do that in other matches. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing that she's really lacking is, I hate to always use the word gimmick, but, like, have that character where we can get to know her and follow her.
Right, and I think that's... we haven't seen her really on the mic yet. She had one brief backstage interview where Nyla came in and pummeled her, stemming from some matches they had on Dark. She was the one who got powerbombed through the table as Nyla powerbombs Bald J-Rock onto her. But yeah, we really haven't had her on the mic for her to develop her character. Like, she's obviously an anime fan. I don't know if you realize that her outfit is a Dragon Ball Z inspired outfit.
No, I didn't. I thought her top was gonna fall off. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, those strings are like just gonna take one wrong move and it's gonna come off.
One sharp nail and
No, I didn't realize that. So you think maybe that's a direction that she could go in?
Maybe a Japanese influence. I know we have the actual Japanese wrestlers there, but we could maybe see a potential anime-inspired gimmick with her, which would be fine as long as she can pull it off. Talking about gimmicks, Statlander's gimmick, the alien from the Andromeda Galaxy. They had her talk a couple weeks ago, which I didn't like. I think she needs to stay off the mic almost. As we talk about, Shanna needs to get onto the mic. We got to keep Statlander off the mic, and I like these hand gestures and the booping. I think all that's working, but let's keep her silent for now, I think. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it keeps it keeps that mystery going, and if she is, like, obviously not truly an alien, but since she's playing one, there is no this is how an alien sounds, and we're probably all going to go on a limb and say that if there were aliens, that they probably wouldn't be speaking English.
Right.
So yeah, that kind of ruins that facade, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see where they take the gimmick.
Do you think that was on purpose? Was it a slip? Right, like her talking. Like, maybe she didn't mean to, but someone acknowledged her, so she spoke back, and then maybe thought, "Oh crap!"
Maybe we don't. I haven't seen her outside of AEW, so I don't know what she was doing with the gimmick beforehand. They had shown some clips of her previously, but I mean, it was all just wrestling clips. So yeah, I don't know. What
I might think that it was an accident, and only because, like, even on Being the Elite, which is not, official show, she doesn't even speak on those.
No, and which again, that's the part of the character that I'm liking is her kind of interacting.
Maybe it was just a slip. I'd probably do the same thing.
Or maybe it was on purpose, and maybe one of the vets thought the same we did, and because we haven't heard her talk since. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's the way it goes, and later as the gimmick progresses, maybe she'll learn English or something like that and speak in some weird broken Yoda.
Orange Cassidy can't teach her. He barely speaks.
Yeah. He's the king of the one-word answers. So, let's talk about the match itself. It was a highlight of the night for me. Probably the second best match on the night for me personally. I was just amazed by their talent in the ring. The match flowed nicely. There was no big botches or mistakes. The false finishes near the end, Shanna was almost getting one over on her, and I just think the whole match itself was just really, really, really good.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. There wasn't anything that really stood out for me other than Statlander's finisher.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think this is the first time, if I caught it correctly, that finisher she used in the match was called the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure I'm a total fan of yet. But, I thought it was one of the best matches as well. It was only the second one I rated, so I gave it a 3.5, solid 3.5. We could say possibly 4. I don't know. I want to save those 4s for some really good stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to get too generous with the ratings. I agree. I think a 3.5 is a perfect number for it.
But it's also because I heart Statlander, so
right.
Yeah, there's a bit of bias there.
Yeah, let's talk about that finish. It's a devastating looking move, especially when she gets it on some of the girls that are smaller than her. Like on a Riho or a Yuka Sakazaki, that finish will look really good. Let's take a look at it here. We'll pop up the clip. This is near the end of the match here.
Yeah, and this really, I think, demonstrates her power. I don't think Shanna is a really small woman.
No, she's definitely one of the better sized girls.
And, she's handling her with, it looks pretty easy. That is very, very cool. I would let her do that to me any day.
It's almost like a modified tombstone of some sort where, the legs are up over the head, but she's hooking them in her arms and then, dropping them right on the crown of their head like that. And I hope they keep it a strong finish. I don't think a lot of people should be kicking out of this one.
No.
So...
who's bigger than her right now?
Nyla Rose. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... yeah, it'll be that could be the story where we're going. Let's go right into the next segment. Statlander wins this match, by the way, if you didn't know before.
So the next segment is with Tony Schiavone, and he's interviewing Nyla at the top of the ramp. And I thought this was the first time. I should have wrote down what she said initially, but she was getting some really good heat, like almost close to what Britt's getting at this point.
Yeah, not quite there, but it's rising. It's the heat on her is definitely rising as a heel champion. It was a very passionate promo. You can tell that she was bringing some personal.
On one of her other promos, I think it was from the previous week, she was just like, I got the idea, it was just like, you guys aren't taking me seriously enough.
This is going into the championship match before the championship
you're
match.
Underestimating me, or I told you it was going to be this way or whatever. Right. So yeah, I think that's why the passion was there. The best part of that whole interview was when she used the term break bitches.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like if there was a heat meter, maybe we need to get a heat meter going. But when it hit that, it went up.
Yeah, that almost broke the thermometer, really, right?
Yeah,
it's just a good exclamation point on the promo. I break bitches. That was good.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, and maybe people already knew this, but for me, it really showed me that she can promo. And it's not just a yell and I'm gonna, beat everyone. Like, there was thought put into it.
Yeah.
Because the other thing I have noted here is that she said she's only gonna be a one-time champ.
Yeah.
She's never gonna have to win this again. And
lose.
I'm like that is Jericho.
Yeah.
Level quotes in it.
Right.
I
wonder if he had something to do with that. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm gonna give her the credit on this one. I feel like she can come up with that kind of stuff. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, I never really thought about it that way. She also makes the comment that no one's on her level, right? No one can match up to her power, and then we see Statlander come strolling out just after she had her own match, and I'm here, I'm looking down at you. Statlander is taller than her.
Yeah.
So,
and the best part of that is, so she goes to do the boop, and we all know what this is, but then she touches the title.
Yeah.
This segment could be a 4.
Right.
Like,
when we're talking interview segments, yeah, it was probably...
I was packing to come down here, and I completely stopped what I was doing because I was so into this segment.
Yeah. And then as Statlander boops the title, we see Big Swole Lee coming out, and she's throwing her name into the hat for the championship. What do you think about this?
I mean, initially, I thought it ruined the segment.
Mm-hmm.
I get the character that Big Swole is portraying. I don't know. It just seemed with the hair swinging around. It was just...
Yeah, I felt like it was too much. Like, Statlander comes out for the challenge. It's accepted, with the eyes. There was nothing ever, actually said. And it's established, that's going to be kind of where the direction of the Women's Championship's going. We're going to see Statlander and Nyla Rose, but then Big Swole Lee comes out, and it's just like, well...
Is that her name? Swole Lee?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Swole. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
We'll have to fact check that. I think.
No, I thought like it was. She came out. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. She stood there. She did like the UFC stare. Mm-hmm. She, does the muscle pump. It should have been there, and then I don't know. It was just the swing of the hair, and it looked messy. Like the refs were trying not to get.
It was almost like they forgot how to do a pull apart properly. You know what I mean?
But I think I would have done the same thing, because you're gonna get a cornrow or whatever they call them, like right in the eye, because like those things were literally just
right.
Like she could be one of those twins on the Matrix kind of thing.
Yeah, good reference. So yeah, we'll see where that story goes going forward, but it looks like for now, at least, maybe we're gonna get a Statlander Big Swole match for number 1 contendership.
We have one more show before Revolution.
Yeah, we got the go home show next week.
I mean, I think they gotta work on that story next week, but not do anything about it, and then have it at the pay-per-view. I would vote for Nyla Statlander at some point. But let's save it for a pay-per-view. Like, don't just one-off it at a...
But, so my thoughts is Nyla just won the championship last week. And then you're going to put her up against a Statlander 2 weeks later. Either way, you take the steam out of your champion, or you take your steam out of your hottest babyface right now. So
don't fight them.
Yeah, so maybe I could either see a number 1 contenders match at Revolution.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
With Big Swole or Statlander. Or Big Swole and Statlander, sorry. And then you can build to the next pay-per-view against Nyla with whoever the winner is. I'm sure it'll be Statlander. Or we go triple threat and then you can have a dirty finish, and then everybody still looks strong. That's the way I see it going.
Yeah.
But, all right.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's move on. We're getting into John Moxley versus the new star on the block, Jeff Cobb. What are your initial thoughts about this matchup?
I like it story wise. I know nothing about this Cobb, so I don't know if
me neither.
Knew anything about him.
Never seen him before.
I don't know if I was the one making the stories. I don't know that I would introduce a new element into the story at this point. Like, we're a week out.
Yeah, it seemed too late in the story, but also in a way too early. Like, if they would have brought him in at Revolution to interrupt the match, maybe would have been a better debut. But nonetheless, he
must be known. Like, I feel like he had a pretty good reception.
Yeah. I just can't speak. I've never seen him before. I don't know if he came from New Japan. I've never seen him in any New Japan stuff that we've watched. So a little bit unknown, but we also have Taz coming in on commentary, which is kind of funny because Jeff Cobb looks like Taz. Like, he
does he look like Taz?
Well, he looks like Rhino, if we're being completely honest. But
okay.
he has
that's not who I think he looks like.
Oh, well, what do you got?
I think he looks like Roman Reigns.
Well, I mean, you've seen one Samoan, you've seen them all. No offense, but
what is the face, the
wet hair,
and the the sort of
chin strappy beard.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, if we went out on the forums, I'm thinking someone had to have made this connection. It can't just be me.
maybe.
The singlet is probably what separates him. If we put him in a security costume, like
the long lost Shield brother.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, he's built like Rhino. He has the moveset of Taz. Like, he's a good
wrestler. He's a good wrestler.
He's got suplex right on the bottom of his singlet, like,
right.
And then you got the suplex machine Taz on commentary.
Did they say last week that he is
he's an Olympian?
Like, he's a wrestler.
Yeah. He's a shoot wrestler. I can't remember if he won a medal, but they mentioned that he was a 2004 Olympian at Greece for freestyle wrestling.
So, and this is his first match
in AEW. Yeah, for sure. We got referee Aubrey Edwards.
Always inner circle, like it seems like she always has an inner circle match.
Yeah, I feel like ever since the All Out Jericho Hangman match that she got the nod for reffing the championship match, the first ever championship match in AEW. I just think it's Jericho's influence. He likes her reffing style. He likes that she's part of the match in a way, but not overshadowing it like, say, a Bryce Rensburg might do. That guy kind of tries to get over on himself, and I don't like that. I think the ref should be the ref. But Aubrey getting the nod on another big match, and like you said, it's another inner circle match. So.
No, I don't. I think I remember this correctly. I didn't make note of this, but Inner Circle does the classic. I bought a ticket.
Yeah,
so
that Jericho was bringing the "I've got a ticket" gimmick back, and
I thought that the crowd. This was the best version of Judas that they've done so far.
Well, since the boat, when they were on the cruise there 3 weeks ago. That crowd, I mean, they'd probably heard the song 3 times at that point.
Right.
Because Fozzy was playing on the boat, but everybody seemed to know the words, and they were so in tune. But, now that they've done it a couple weeks in a row now, the crowds are learning what to do. And
they've all signed up to Spotify, and they're practicing.
Yeah. Shout out to Spotify. They seem to be... I just think it's funny how you spend 2 minutes singing this guy's song, and as soon as it's over, it's booing. You know, that now you're the heel again, and the heat comes on. It's just a weird dynamic.
We like Fozzy, but we hate you, buddy.
Yeah. So let's talk about this match. Cobb really imposes his will on Moxley for most of this match. It was almost all Cobb there.
I don't want this to sound bad because I thought the match was really good. It was a classic Mox match. Mm-hmm. Like it, there was outside stuff. There was, throw against the barrier and whatnot. I thought they were really trying to get Cobb over. Mm-hmm. Like, he's obviously not going to defeat Mox.
Not 2 weeks out.
And, but they built him up, Like, he's a better Roman Reigns. We all got that.
I just had the thought as you were talking there, how going back to why bring him in now, you're almost setting him up to fail in a way where, you're going up against the number one contender. There's no way you're winning this match. We all know that. So why bring this guy in with so much hype just to chop him down? But I think they did a good job in how they handled the match, where Cobb basically beats up Moxley for 15 minutes, and Moxley has his classic, grit the teeth, Rocky type finish, and he fights his way back and gets a quick paradigm shift on.
I think Mox and Cobb did a good, maneuver and sell that it was like he just got it, because Cobb was like, I should.
The 1, 2, 3 came on, and he popped up right away and did the whole like, oh, did that just happen?
Yeah.
And then we go into the inner circle, hopping the fence and coming in and laying the beat down on Moxley. This has just been the status quo for inner circle, ganging up on Moxley. What were your thoughts on the beat down?
Yeah, I think it had to happen. I think the whole story going into Revolution is going to be, we have Jericho, who hasn't really had to wrestle too much, hasn't even had a match in the last little while, so he's going to be all super fresh. And then you have Mox, who has no eye, he has no leg, and and then I really don't know who's going to win that match. But they're going to sure play it up like there's going to be that ebb and flow, I'm sure, of, Jericho's going to dominate, and then it's going to come back.
And we've seen Jericho, Moxley / Ambrose before, and we know they work well together. So, I'm excited for that match. I don't know which way they're going to go yet either. I feel like it's too soon for Jericho to lose the belt.
I've been saying that every time he has a title match.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's too soon.
It's too soon. I'd like to see him hang on to it for a little bit longer. So that begs the question, do you put Jericho over clean and totally cut the legs out from Moxley's push, or are we going to see an interruption and a dirty finish, maybe a intentional DQ when Moxley starts getting the upper hand, maybe?
Yeah, I think even if you take him out, Mox doesn't need it.
I don't think
he's too over.
Yeah. When he gets
I think Jericho could do a 10-second win, and I don't even think it will hurt.
It would hurt? Really? That's interesting. We also had Darby Allin, or we had Dustin Rhodes come in to aid Moxley with the beatdown. He goes right after Jake Hager.
I like that.
Setting up that potential match at Revolution a little bit further. Darby Allin comes out and goes after Sammy Guevara, who we're surprised is even still walking at this point, I'm sure.
Yeah. And it really renewed those rivalries.
Yeah.
And
So
hopefully those are matches.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some confirmation on those matches come next week on the Go Home show. Darby Allin does the card gimmick that Sammy was doing. So
yeah, but even before that, there's that one sequence, we got to pull that up, where Darby flips over Cobb. It was such a cool
and lands
move.
on his feet. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Like, rate this match. I thought it was a good classic Mox match. I'd give it a 3, but I thought the ending was like a 4, like with all the run-ins and all that, and Darby Allin coming in.
Right,
like, they really do a good job of keeping everybody relevant.
Right.
Like, you're seeing everybody every week.
So here we go. The big flip. He lands so clean, which we've seen spots like this before where, their legs crumple or something like that, but he lands it so clean. And then Moxley gets the paradigm shift in on Cobb. He's eyeing up Jericho here, and Jericho's going to slink out before it could happen.
Just classic heel move.
Yeah.
But so good.
Oh, no, they do. They do the old hockey fight. I forgot about this. Right there, he slinks up. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good spot. And like I said, hopefully we get some confirmation on Darby Guevara and Dustin Hager. I'm excited to see Hager get back in the ring.
You have to think that this week they gotta be saying matches. Like, how do you promo a pay-per-view and nobody knows what's going on?
Yeah, that's something I mentioned last week. It was just
because I don't think I would dish out $60-$70 if
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, like, I don't think, for me, Mox and Jericho that match is worth my $60. Like, I think I need more than that.
Right. Because like I said earlier in the intro, the only confirmed matches we have are Jericho, Mox, and Cody, MJF. Well, and now with the Battle Royal, we know the Tag Team Championship match as well. But yeah, let's just move on to the next match. We have Lucha Brothers versus Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, and it is a title match. It is, the belts are on the line. What do you think?
And I feel like this is when they introduce us, I'm like, there could totally be a title change tonight. I feel like Lucha Brothers deserve it. It could be part of a story. It could be they meet again at Revolution. So this, to me, is legit. The title could change.
You're thinking the titles are changing hands at that point?
I just think it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Probably not likely, but a possibility. Whereas, sometimes when we have a title match on a Dynamite or Raw or whatever, like, this is most you're never really sort of shocked at the outcome.
And I
was kind of shocked at Nyla winning, but that one after I thought about, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I hope someday they do a shock title change like that on maybe even a Dynamite after a pay-per-view. Maybe someone drops a title at some point. Hopefully,
throw one on Dark. People start watching it.
Yeah, for sure. That's something to keep in mind. I'm going to be honest. I didn't really pay too much attention to this match. I had it on, but I was typing up the outline for the pilot episode of the podcast, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But the spots I saw were, classic Lucha Brothers, Omega just going big. I remember the Destroyer on Omega, and like, no one takes a head spike like Omega. Man, that guy he's got neck muscles or something, but like, when that guy takes a DDT or a pile driver like that, like, his whole body just spikes up. He's the best in the business at that. But you watched the match more closely than I did. Let's talk about it.
I think I realized at this point that TSN had given up on doing any sort of censoring.
Yeah.
Like we were hearing, swears and whatnot. Whereas, previous weeks you'd hear the swear or,
Right.
Bad word and then you'd hear like the cutout after.
And
now they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Just to elaborate on that, TSN was trying to censor when the crowd was chanting holy shit or cowboy shit, and they just couldn't get the beat the mute in at the right time, and it was just bad. So I'm hoping that they just take this action going further, that the disclaimer's up there at the beginning of the show, and if you don't like it, you can turn the channel. That's kind of thing. But
yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad that they maybe were a little bit lenient on the cowboy shit chants, because those are always fun.
I thought the Luchas really showed that they've learned how to tag.
Yes,
this was the first match where it was like it seemed like a legit tag match,
right?
And it wasn't just everybody running around and
there's been
not calling it 10 count.
Yeah, there's been a couple spots where I'm pretty sure Ray Phoenix isn't even the legal man, but he's going for the pin, and I want to say Aubrey was the only one who called it. You're not the legal man. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But they made such at the beginning of Dynamite, they made such a big deal about how it's a 10-second count on the tags instead of 5, which is the normal rule. So, we're going to have a little bit more chaos in between tags, but that's all we've just had is chaos. There's no structure to it, and they kind of forgot that that's a rule, even though they made such a...
I think it was Excalibur actually mentioned it one week, and he said that in Mexico, they don't. It's very loose.
Yeah,
what they do.
Yeah,
so
that's
they're
right.
Used to that.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I think you're right. He did mention
I like
that.
a little mix of it.
Well,
it's okay to get chaotic, but I think it still needs to be a tag match.
Right. Right. Especially when it's a title match.
Yeah, I never even thought of that. Yeah, for sure.
So, we had another spot in this match where Hangman.
Well, let's hold on to that.
Okay.
Because that's kind of after.
Okay.
So, like, my two favorite spots are with my favorite wrestler, Ray Phoenix. So, the first one was he did a tornado into cutter. We got to show that one because, like, that is sick, man.
Okay. I'll cue it up.
And then the other one was Ray flips over the top rope. I forget what the move is called, where he hooks his feet on his neck and then flips Kenny.
Oh,
you know that... not an enziguri, but
like a brain buster, or like a
so he jumps, he takes his feet and then flips them over. What's that move called?
Tiger Driver, I think.
Okay.
The Tiger Driver 98, I think is that one.
I gotta start getting my inner Excalibur going. He knows everything and
all the proper names. The Tope.
So yeah, we got to pull up that one. Those were for me the two big spots, and then after that was what you're talking about. Okay,
so this is when I started paying attention again, and Hangman goes for the buckshot lariat, I believe, and whoever it was, I can't remember if it was Phoenix or Pentagon, but they duck out of the way and he catches. They've been teasing that because it happened in their first tag match, the one they lost to Pentagon and Phoenix. But lately, Hangman's been catching it, and they do the that was close kind of thing. But this time, he follows through and connects, and Kenny kind of takes a beating after that. Like, he's just... The Lucha Brothers just go to town on Kenny after that for a little while.
Oh, yeah, he's really selling a legit injury at that point. I think Jim Ross says a Charlie horse or something that he has, but he got his...
I noticed that he was selling his bell was wrong. He was doing the the glazed eyes.
Yeah. Maybe the Charlie horse was earlier. Yeah, that really led to two good false finishes, ones where you're just like, here's where it's ending, and then no, it didn't.
Yeah, for sure.
On either side, Kenny pinned Ray, and then Ray pinned Kenny.
Right. Just going into the match overall, like, you can never have a bad match with these four, I feel.
No, and I think again, if I was to give it a rating, I thought like the first half was just normal stuff, and then when Ray started with these moves that we've again never seen, I'd be shocked if you saw them and you're like, oh yeah, I've seen him do that before. The second half of this match for me is a definite 4. Like
right.
it was really good.
Again, I didn't pay too much attention to this match. I feel like I missed a good one, but I was working on the podcast, so maybe I'll go back and check it out. But I could just assume that this was a match of the night potential, and like I said, you can't go wrong with these 4 guys in the ring, and they put on a good show from what I saw.
But even with that one spot where Paige hits Kenny, they end up retaining, so they win, right? And then the Bucks came in like they seem to always do.
Right. You got to remember, the Bucks and Kenny are still friends, and it's Hangman that's really the outsider of the Elite right now. But this is the first time we see Kenny kind of push them away.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sticking with my boy here. I mean, they are the tag team champions, so how do you think that story's going to play out next week now that we know that this is going to be the tag match for the titles at Revolution?
Yeah, I really see this as, from a story perspective, is you can go a lot more places now. Right? Because you can have Kenny leaving the Elite, or really screwing Hangman. Right, and like picking a side, like there's just so much more possibilities, which I think makes it exciting when you don't know what's going to happen.
Right, because there was a time when we were watching the Vanilla promotion that we were just predicting everything that was happening. Like, it was like clockwork. And it was like, we've seen this sequence of events so many times, but now with a new group of guys, I mean, all the old wrestling archetypes are always there, but I mean, they're doing a better job disguising it, or at least having multiple options going into finishes of storylines that we don't really know what's going to go on. What are your thoughts on I feel Hangman needs to leave the Elite. I think he needs to absolutely cut ties and go his own way for a little while. What are your thoughts on?
Yeah, I think if he's going to do a title run, I think he has to have that. And then I could see him coming back at some point. He's a strong enough character. I think he can do it on his own. I'm concerned about him, though. I feel like he's going to get like mouth herpes or something.
Drinking everybody's beer.
Yeah. It's just
1 in 4 people.
I thought when he started doing I thought when he was doing this that it was literally a person,
a prop,
in AEW that was doing it. But no, like, it's literally people are, pushing their way to the front to give him half his beer. And just watch out, man. Yeah. I'm not down with
that. So we know it's going to be Hangman and Kenny, and another tag team that needs to have a name at least. I hate just saying Hangman and Kenny, but they're going up against the Young Bucks at Revolution.
They don't call them the Elite?
Nope.
No? Okay.
I think they represent the Elite, but I don't think they refer to them as the Elite.
Maybe it's not even give them a name if they're just going to break them up.
True. Okay. But we know they're going up against the Young Bucks at Revolution for the AEW Tag Team Championships. What are your predictions on how that's going to go?
I really have no idea. I think a retain or new champions, both of those for me work. It would be interesting how they choose to do either of those scenarios.
Right.
But I don't know that I can predict. I think this could be the time to just get it done. Like, just give the Bucks the title.
And work on the breakup story of Hangman and Kenny. I think that's the way they go.
Or it will be done. Like, that story will be done. Like, I could see Hangman leaving that night with a big F you and...
But you don't... To me, the story that they've been portraying of Hangman is it's the saga of Hangman finally getting on his own, but for him just to walk out, I feel doesn't wrap up the story. So I think you need to have the breakup with Kenny, and then that's where it goes from there. Now you have a program with Kenny for a little while. I can't see Hangman just flipping off the Elite, riding off onto the sunset on his horse.
No, I'm not saying that's...
And then nothing happens after that.
No, I'm not saying that nothing happens after that, but I think at Revolution, we will know he is no longer part of the Elite.
Right. I agree. I think that's the end, and Young Bucks are the champs after this.
But I like a Kenny Hangman.
That could be
That's cool.
That could be good.
And then if the Bucks do win, I don't think they can go back to Lucha Brothers, even though I would love to put the straps on Lucha Brothers.
We've seen that match a little too much. Yes.
I think we got to get Dark Order going on.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, I think SCU...
They had their time.
Yeah. Dark
Order is the next kind of team that's due for...
I don't think Santana and Ortiz... I like Inner Circle. I don't know that we're ready for that. Unless it's going to be like... Unless we're going for everyone has the belts. Like NWO, rule everything. If they do that kind of story, then okay. Then take us there and make it happen. But yeah, I'd like to see more Dark Order. Like, jonesing for one of those vignettes.
Right. We haven't seen one in a couple weeks. That's right. They've been doing more of the coming in between people's matches. And just making their...
I want another reason to tweet hashtag join
the Dark Order. All right. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's go into the main event of the night. Best 20 minutes of the night, I felt. And we're talking about the cage match between Cody and Wardlow with MJF on the outside.
And this is the third stipulation?
Yeah.
He has to win, right?
He has to beat Wardlow to get to MJF.
So he hasn't touched him.
He hasn't touched him yet.
Took
the 10 lashes. And now we're going to see... finally seeing Wardlow in action, not just standing there being a goon. He impressed me, actually, for someone I've never seen wrestle before. We saw Wardlow's little vignette.
I was a bit surprised by his big cast attire. I would have never pegged him as a singlet guy.
Right. But yeah, like, we saw a vignette at All Out, I believe, introducing Wardlow, and he beats up those guys on top of that parking garage. Do you remember that?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
But I was like, who the hell is this guy? And I've never seen him before. I've never heard of him, but he impressed me. He's a good wrestler. He sold when he needed to sell, and he used his size advantage and really threw Cody around. And
this is a bit of history, right? Because it's the first cage match of AEW.
Yeah, first cage match.
First match for Wardlow. He hasn't
wrestled in AEW yet, so it's a big.
And I feel like that's good because we have currently a lot of characters who are there who don't fight.
Yeah,
and I think you can even wrap Orange Cassidy into that as well. Like, we really don't see him.
He hasn't had an official match yet. Or no, he was part of a 6-man tag with the Best Friends, but I don't think he did anything in that match. Yeah. So right away, the match starts and Cody busts.
Were you shocked?
He busted faster than Greg the Hammer Valentine. Like, oh my lord, he got thrown into the turnbuckle and his head exploded. Like,
this is what I have. So Cody gets cut open, which is typical. We are not shocked.
We're not shocked at this point.
But this happens because he was thrown into the cage.
Okay.
Which I feel like has been done before. It makes sense, right? If you get thrown into cage, you're going to bust. But Wardlow takes 10 fists and an elbow to the head.
A bionic elbow.
And no blood. Like, is Wardlow a robot? Like, why was he not busted?
I don't know.
I think it would have made more sense to the match if they
were both showing color. I just thought that when Cody goes in, he busts the scar tissue from the Jericho match at Full Gear. I thought it was just a fluke thing.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was fluke, but then you notice that the blood's coming from the other side of the forehead. I'm like, oh, he bladed. And, it just seems to be Cody's thing now, and it's a classic platinum blonde wrestler move that you show color because it always looks so good, right? Like, you got the Ric Flairs.
I love it. Like we said in the pilot episode, I like that it's old school wrestling, but when it happens every time...
Well, it is getting to that point where it's just like, hey man, you need to shelve it for a little while so that it's a shock when it happens again. But it still works. I mean, it added that deadliness to the cage match, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the cage itself?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because, I mean, I was never a fan of the chain link fence cage. Always liked the bars, but this cage was twice as tall as a vanilla promotion cage.
Right.
Like, it looked...
And it was flimsy as heck.
Oh, really?
Which actually worked out well because Wardlow used it to ram him in the head in that one.
Yeah,
spot
I guess they didn't have the panels like WWE has, where there's sections of chain link, where this was just one big one. So yeah, there was a little bit more give.
There's some swing to it, yeah.
And it made those spots where he's throwing him into the cage, and there was like it was a visual aspect that you didn't get to see before. But to me,
I liked the tallness, because even when he entered, right, he goes right up there. I thought that was like super cool.
Right.
I mean, he even says it itself. His entrances are, how does he put it?
I don't know.
Him rising from the bottom of the stage, like they're all
theatrical and
self-absorbed.
Right.
Right. There's a better word in there. I just can't think of it.
Let's talk about some of the spots that we saw in this match.
So MJF's on the outside.
Yep.
And Arn Anderson's on the outside.
And we saw Brandy not in her Nightmare Collective gimmick.
Yeah, I have to think that's done.
I feel like it's done, yeah.
I think it was done during the lashing episode. Was that last week?
Yeah, she came out and...
Yeah, like as soon as I saw her not in character, I'm like... It's got to be done. You can't flip back and forth. I don't feel.
Not with that type of character. The kind of the supernatural.
But she really wasn't a part of this match, if I remember correctly.
She had the one spot where MJF climbed up and she hit him with the chair a couple times.
Oh yeah, right.
And then Arn.
That was after Arn hits him with the door.
Yeah. So that was the first.
I like that because
that was the first main.
Cody's hanging out the door, and then JR was right on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that whole feud or that, Dusty Rhodes and Arn Anderson and all of that.
Yeah, but
apparently
before
that must have been something. So they did that on purpose.
And even
so, you're wondering if he's gonna hit Cody and turn on him as well.
And MJF is also adding to that because he's telling him, hit him like he hit his daddy. Hit him like he hit his daddy. Right. He's screaming at him, and then Arn, give him credit. He thought about it. or he paused at least to
no, it was perfect.
He teased
he
that.
had me. I'm like, is he gonna do it? Like, because that'd be badass.
That would be badass. You know, another close personal person to Cody turns on him. That we could see that eventually. You never know. So we have the door spot. Arn gets one over on MJF. MJF.
Well, I should also mention MJF, no blood. Gets hit with the cage.
No blood. Yeah, no blood.
One of the biggest spots that I have noted here was Wardlaw does a senton.
Yeah. Wow.
Pretty agile for a big guy.
Yeah, that's a big guy. He almost didn't make it over. Like, he held it. He held it like Jeff Hardy holds it. Like, it's you're flat, and then the somersault comes right at the end. I thought he was going to break his neck. He barely made it over. We also have the spot where MJF takes the ring off, the diamond ring, gives it to Wardlow, but this time, you know, Cody gets out of the way and he gets the ring on and uses it. Good, yeah. And then we have the Brandy spot because Cody's putting the ring on and MJF takes his jacket off. He climbs the ring and he's yelling at him, and then Brandy comes and gets the couple chair shots in. Arn throws him out over. After Cody gets the shot in, he does the crossroads.
Which was... Wardlow can't take a crossroads.
No, he's maybe a little bit too big, or maybe he's never taken that move before, but it didn't look the best.
Yeah.
And then Cody looks to the sky. And this is the moment where I damn near lost my voice because I'm screaming at the TV, don't fucking do it, Cody.
You know what? I wasn't even looking at the TV because I'm just like, well, he's obviously not going to go to the top, right? Like, he's just going to do like he did when he entered.
Right.
He just get up there and wave to the crowd, get everybody going. And then, then he goes to the top. I didn't think he was going to do it.
I didn't think he was going to do a moonsault.
Because, let's put this in perspective. Okay, you have one of the biggest matches in a week time. Like, you can't afford to get hurt, or else that's hurting that
pay-per-view, yeah. So, like, I'm just screaming at the TV, don't do it. And he climbs up there, and then he's not turning around. Because at least if you're going up there for a big spot, you're going to do a crossbody, nice, easy catch. Wardlow's a big guy. Like you said, it's safe. It comes off, it looks good. And everybody's okay for the pay-per-view. But he's not turning around. And now I'm screaming. Now I'm almost closing my eyes. And
I think you see him mouth like, I'm not going to do any of this Shane McMahon just kind of drop off the top.
Right.
Like, he's like, if I'm going to be up here,
I'm doing something big.
Yeah.
So, let's just watch this. I can't believe I'm watching this again. And good on him for climbing up there quick. Couple chest bumps.
I like this camera angle. I'm glad they had that.
Oh my god.
Like, Wardlow did not catch him, and I'm not even saying this as a knock on Wardlow. I don't think anyone could have caught him. He's coming down with so much speed. Like, we don't have how heavy Cody is, but he's got to be 2.5.
He's got to be up there 230, I think. He's a big guy. He's 6 something, and pretty lean. Muscle, he's got to weigh.
Yeah.
And, as big as Wardlow is, I don't think anybody was going to... When you compare it to jumping off the top rope into the ring and you do that shoulder kind of catch...
Have you ever been to the tower at the pool and then you land funny? Like, that hurts. Like, you can blow out a testicle. Like, he fell flat on his front, man.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was getting up, soon. Like, I thought, there might be a bit of a lay here and catch your breath.
Yeah, but he popped up and got the cover right away.
Yeah, total pro.
I was worried about his knees. his knees hit hard. He landed so flat.
No,
just it looked like that took the brunt of the impact. But,
yeah,
and a huge spot, like holy crap, and then he climbs back up to celebrate.
He did a promo up there, didn't he? You don't see it.
You don't see it,
but
it was after he came back down and he cut a promo.
Did you watch it?
Yeah,
I didn't watch it. I just saw that Jericho posted on his YouTube channel that he was filming it, I guess, from Gorilla or wherever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, AEW's YouTube channel posted it in its entirety.
Okay, so what did he say?
He was just thanking the Atlanta crowd. He is from Atlanta. He was born there. So it was a very special show for him. That's where his father, made his legacy, was in the Georgia area. He went to school in Marriott, which is a suburb of Atlanta, and where he won his national championships in high school wrestling and all that stuff. So it was a very important show for him, and he reiterated the fact that he wants to produce the best shows for the fans week by week, and he figured that this was the best show they've ever put on, which I said at the beginning of the show, I think it's their best Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes here. I didn't even rate it because I don't know. That one move is a 5 in my books.
Yeah.
I bet you ask a lot of wrestlers to do that, and they'll be like, hell no, not doing it.
And like we mentioned at the beginning of the segment, this cage is twice as tall as the other cages I've seen. Like this is Mick Foley coming off a Hell in a Cell, but not landing on a table. You're landing on the floor. And we hear wrestlers talk about how hard these rings are. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing. I still can't believe he did that. But, yeah, there's episode of Dynamite live from Atlanta, Georgia. Overall thoughts? Any closing thoughts on the show?
Yeah, I think again, is a great lead into this coming week. I'm interested to see how the stories progress, and yeah, I think I agree with you. It's one of the best ones they've done, production wise, match wise. Yeah, it's really really good.
I agree. Well, as we close up here on this week's episode, we do have the go home show before Revolution next week on Wednesday. I'm not sure where they are. I think it's Kansas City before Revolution, and hopefully we get some confirmation on some of these other matches. Like I said, we only know of the 3 for sure. I mean, we can assume that we're going to see a couple other ones, but yeah, I'm excited for us to do another one. We'll probably have to record it just before Revolution on Saturday.
Right, and we'll be doing a remote.
Yeah, we'll be doing it remote from like probably over Skype or something like that. But we'll get that figured out beforehand. And yeah, and then we have Revolution pay-per-view next Saturday. I'm really excited for it. I can't wait for it. And I'm just excited, man. I
know.
So
you watching that?
I'll probably have a little watch party with the group of guys and whatnot, but probably record a Revolution show maybe Sunday night. Anyways, we'll keep you posted on what's going on, and thanks for watching. We're here on YouTube hopefully every week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment below on what you thought of the episode, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, guys. Peace.